بمفتاح لخير قد صنعنا على درب المحبة والصفاء، يخاطبكم به ناس ثقات بقول قد تسارب.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. I would like to welcome brother Professor Dr. Abdullah Abu Ishi, who is the actually the pioneer and the person who is responsible about da'wah in Asir region. We don't like to just praise him, but he is actually the one we appreciate all of his efforts in da'wah at Asir region and in the kingdom, and also during his study outside the kingdom. Dr. Abdullah would like to ask you about the third pillar of Islam, fasting of Ramadan, and we'd like to know about the good things about fasting in Ramadan. Would like to ask you, Dr. Abdullah, what is Ramadan?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. I do express my gratitude to God first for enabling me to come to talk about a very important and sublime subject. It is the fourth pillar of Islam. It is about fasting. But also I would like to express my gratitude to ALROAD group, who are really producing a very singular and distinguished programs, and I do appreciate their efforts when you think about the limitation of the resources and achievement that they have achieved. I think they have achieved a lot. And in their program Al-Mفتاح, we are talking about this very important topic, that is about fasting. But also I cannot start without expressing my gratitude, my heartly gratitude to my respected brother Dr. Dhafir al-Shihri, who was so kind to agree to interview me about this important topic. And I thank him very, very much about what he mentioned, which I don't deserve, but his kindness, get him to say what he said. Now, without any more introduction, I will respond to the question of my respected brother Dr. Dhafir. What is meant by Ramadan? What is meant by fasting? We cannot talk about fasting without stating the important verse in the Holy Quran related or talking about fasting. The Holy Quran verse says that, "O you who believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it has been decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous." So this is a very clear stated verse in the Holy Quran, which talks and make that fasting is mentioned in the Holy Quran, and it is the fourth pillar of Islam. And when we come to talk about the definition of Ramadan, Ramadan is an Arabic word. It coincides with the month of fasting. So it is an Arabic terminology, an Arabic term, Ramadan, which associates with the designated month during which all Muslims who are certain, who have certain criteria fast. So when we talk about fasting, we can define it simply as abstaining from drink, food, and sexual intercourse from pre-dawn till sunset.
Dr. Abdullah would like to transfer to another side. Is fasting confined to Islam?
No, not at all. during my humble review of previous faith and dogmas and so on, we find that fasting is not confined to Islam. Even the verse I just cited witnessed it, that it has been decreed upon us as it was decreed upon those before us. So this verse in the Holy Quran hints that fasting is known before, but it has different forms and different rituals. Not only that, but even doctors and those who are in the medical field, they talk about what they call intermittent fasting, where they recommend for certain patients to do this intermittent fasting.
Dr. Abdullah, maybe Muslims and non-Muslims maybe ask themselves, why Muslim fast?
It is very, very important question and very logical question. There might be certain benefits from fasting, but the main cause, the main motivation beside fasting is worship. We fast because Allah, God, has made it obligation upon Muslims to fast. So my first answer and prompt answer to this is we fast because God ordered us to do so. Then there might be certain benefits and so on, but the main cause that Muslim fast in order to respond to God's order, since it is the fourth pillar of Islam.
Dr. Abdullah, we'd like to hear from you about certain medical issues associated with fasting.
Okay. Dr. Dafir, to be honest with you, I wish that in my position, someone who is in the medical field, so he or she will be more qualified to answer this question. But from my humble review and reading, there is a lot of benefits from fasting. Even some doctors, they mention about it. Not only that, even certain doctors, they started to treat their patient with what I mentioned just before, that they call them or they encourage them to do intermittent fasting. What do we mean by intermittent fasting? We mean that it is fasting for a certain hours or certain thing. It has a lot of medical benefits, but we cannot look at it from a religious point of view, because God has prescribed the time and the duration of fasting and the cause that we do it as a source or motivated by worship. But it doesn't mean that a certain people who are not Muslim, they realize the benefit of fasting to the extent that with certain patients of the certain doctors, some doctor that they prescribe and encourage their patient to do what is called intermittent fasting.
I also, Dr. Abdullah, maybe some reverts may ask themselves about certain, as we talk about medical now, we talked about medical. Some people also, they may ask, is fasting a precious chance to stay and stop their bad habits?
Oh yes, by all means. It is a precious, fasting is a very precious chance to stop certain bad habits. I remember so many people, with the beginning of fasting, even I remember certain people who were, heavy smokers. With the coming of Ramadan, they abstained for this certain time, and this led them to abstain at all and to, stop smoking. And also stop everything that, displeases God, like backbiting and so on.
We'd like to thank you, Dr. Abdullah, and we'll see you, inshallah, in another issue بإذن الله تعالى.
May Allah
الخير قد صنعنا على درب المحبة والصفاء يخاطبكم به ناس ثقات بقول قد تساربل بالنقاء بقول قد تساربل بالنقاء.
هنا الرواد تسمو